Hey guys, it's Jerick the Air Dragon making another review today. This is going to be of another one of S-Thunder's products, and this is definitely another one of their really interesting ones. I have to say S-Thunder is pretty awesome for all the interesting, different stuff they make. I applaud them for going a little bit different instead of making the same grenades over and over again. I like to see the new, interesting stuff. But this is going to be of their shocker grenade, and it even says right on the back, the loudest. Now these are meant to work with CO2. But that's not necessarily why they're so loud. I mean, that helps, but there's a reason why these are loud, and let me go ahead and show you. So I've zoomed in to give you a better look at these. So the way they work is actually very, very simple, even if they look a little bit different and a little more complex. They basically work like your standard 40mm grenades, where there's a pin in the back. Once this is shot, you'll need to push it down and reset it. Here's where you fill up the gas, which this can take either propane or CO2 by their CO2 adapter right here, which actually works very, very easily. You simply unscrew the bottom here. You put in two 12-gram CO2 cartridges, one facing this way and then the next one facing that way. Screw this back in, and then once that's screwed in, you can simply fill it up just like you do with propane, except for now it's with CO2 and it's stronger. I also can note that this works with any CO2 adapters, like say this one, which is the Mad Bull one, which is the one I actually ended up using. And this will make it stronger and louder. So once you have this filled with gas, you simply pour BBs in the top. Now this larger one takes about 70 to 80 BBs. And then once you fill those up with BBs, you simply put this cap right in the top right here. And that stays in place, very, very snug. This is why it's so loud. On top of using CO2, which is just as loud, I mean, it's very loud if you're using propane as well, but louder with CO2. But this is why it's loud. Once you shoot it, it takes that extra little bit of pressure to get this cap off. And then out comes the BBs. So not only are they going to get hit with BBs, they're going to be stunned a little bit by the sound, or by how loud this thing is. Now I know what you're thinking. Doesn't that mean you have to find more of these? And yeah, you do. These are rubber, so they can be reused. They don't break when you use them. But when you're in the middle of a game, chances of you finding one of these is very, very slim. Let alone the fact that you probably won't have time to go ahead and find these unless you get out. So you will have to find these again, and if you lose them, you can buy more. So I would just go ahead and stockpile on them, and they're not very expensive. Now let's move over to the smaller ones. In short, these are identical to the larger one, except for they're smaller. One box comes with 2 of these smaller ones. With the larger one box just comes with 1 of these and 10 of the rubber plugs. The smaller ones come with 10 plugs as well. You're probably noticing only 9. That's because I actually already lost one while I was testing it. They do go a decent amount of ways. I was able to find the other ones, but I did lose one. As I said before, this works the same way, either propane or CO2, except for the only difference is that it's smaller, and this one takes about 10 to 20 BBs instead of 70 to 80. Alright, now we're going to go outside and test all of these grenades. We're going to be using S-Thunder's pistol grenade launchers to test them. Let me give you a quick preview of those grenade launchers. The first one you've already seen, I've already made a video of. This is their standard break action plastic pistol one. Pretty cool, pretty affordable. The next one is, in short, the same thing, but longer to add just a little bit more accuracy. Super hand cannon. It's also breakdown and plastic. And then the next one is basically an upgraded version of the first one. Another one of these pistols, except for this one is full metal with the exception of the gas blowback M4 style grip, but the whole body and everything else is metal. It is spring-loaded so that when you push the release for the grenade launcher, it just kind of pops open on its own, and it latches latches a lot tighter than the other ones. Not that the other ones had a problem with that. And it also features this rail on top for you to put, say, red dots or whatever you wish on it. Or if you wanted to find some way to mount this onto your gun, it would probably be a lot more comfortable to hold than having your standard M203, which I was actually contemplating doing for my XM8, because putting an M203 in my XM8 is very front-heavy and very awkward. And I have a feeling this is going to be a little bit closer to the original grenade launcher made for the XM8, and it's just going to be a lot more comfortable and less awkward. Alright, so let's go outside and test these now. Alright, now we're outside and we're going to be testing the larger one first. I got this loaded up with about 50 BBs or so, even though the max capacity is 80. It's loaded up with CO2 as well, not propane, so this is the max performance you will be getting. I'm going to be using the longer pistol grenade launcher out of this. And I got another camera right next to me over here. You can't see it because it's off the that camera, but this is going to be showing the ones downrange. This is the same exact shot. Let's go ahead and shoot it.
really, really loud, and I don't know if the camera picked it up. It actually had a lot of recoil I wasn't expecting. Okay, so I just went downrange and found the orange cap, and it does look reusable, so they do not break in any way whatsoever. But when I shot this, I had no idea where this cap went. I didn't even see it. I saw BBs everywhere. I was surprised by the recoil. Well, using CO2 obviously, and the chances of you finding one of these is very, very slim. You can buy more, but your best bet is to try to find them. Regardless, S Thunder was not lying when they said this is the loudest grenade out there. It definitely is the very loudest. If they are not out by the BBs, they're going to be a little bit shocked by how loud this thing is. Something else I wanted to point out, once you use it, it won't be flush. The pin will not be flush with the grenade. That's how you need to know. You need to push that down and reset it. Alright, and now to test the smaller shocker grenades. I got 2 pistol grenade launchers loaded up with these smaller ones. They have about 10 BBs in each and loaded with CO2. And we're going to dual wield them. Why dual wield them? Because we can. That's really loud. It really does speak volumes when just one of these smaller grenade launchers, or grenades, about that size, maybe a little less than a half the size of a regular airsoft grenade, is louder than the full airsoft grenade. These really are loud. S Thunder isn't just making stuff up, some marketing stuff, trying to say they're loud. These really are the loudest airsoft grenades on the market.
Alright, now for the conclusion. So the first thing I can say is that these things are a lot of fun to use. I gotta give S Thunder more thumbs up for making something original and different, which I love seeing original and different things instead of the same thing over and over and over again, M4s. But these things do actually have a very practical use. When you're in the middle of combat, loud noises such as these things are going to give out, especially if you're in CQB situations, it's going to add confusion to the fight. And confusion, if you know what's going on, and they don't, obviously that's going to work out better for you than them. Something else I can say is that I do have Madbull CO2 grenades, but these things seem to handle CO2 a lot better than my Madbull ones. The Madbull ones tend to freeze a little bit, the pin starts getting hard to push, and I had no problems with using these. All these just worked perfectly fine. With that said, I believe I've covered everything on these different interesting shocker grenades. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see all you guys later.